Rebalancing growth. Your department has a job to do that. How do you think this project will rebalance growth? And I'm thinking about regional growth here.
Yeah. So the coalition government has a policy to rebalance the economy, and so do we. The question of how this.
Well, what a relief.
So do we, just for the record.
Are you aware of research from the continent that shows that high-speed rail systems tend to pull more activity to the capital city? Are you aware of that?
There's research which shows two things. It shows that economies as a whole grow as a result of transport infrastructure investment, including high-speed rail investment. There's also very good evidence to show that, in particular, intermediate cities between the capital and the endpoints benefit greatly from high-speed rail.
I'll come back to that in a moment. The research from the continent shows that the cities on the high-speed rail line lose economic activity to the capital, but they gain it from the regions around them. That's what the research actually shows. So we will find, as you're predicting, more and more people will be coming to this city itself, which has a capacity problem. Is that something you want to encourage?
Come into the city?
This city has a capacity problem. Schools, housing, everything. We're already talking about Crossrail north to south. There's a capacity problem in London. Do you want to encourage more or less people to come to London?
We don't think that the high-speed rail project will cause London itself to grow disproportionately in comparison to the rest of the country.
Well, different economies then.
Well, I think we're sceptical about that. Could I then move on to another question? Well, let me put it this way: if you look at the four biggest countries in Europe, UK, Spain, France and Germany, just look at the rail map. What strikes you very clearly is we have a hub and spoke system around London. They don't. They join up their cities all around the country with good rail lines. Why do we not have a policy to do that? That would really rebalance economic growth.
There's a debate about what the impact of this kind of infrastructure investment would be, but what is absolutely clear at the moment is that the cities of the north, to a city, are clamouring for HS2 to go ahead.
I understand why the northern cities might be clamouring for HS2 to get to London quickly, but they're also clamouring for a lot of other things. Yeah. So when I got onto a train to go to Salford for a PAC hearing last week in Middlesbrough, it took me half an hour longer to get to Manchester. On that train, no changes, half an hour longer than it takes me to get to London. A few months before that, I went to Sellafield, which is directly opposite the Tees Valley, and it took 4 hours. That did include changes, but that was directly across the small distance of the north of England. And one of the huge problems we have, I think, about the credibility here is there are lots of ways of rebalancing our regional economies which don't involve making it easier and easier to bring people to this place which is more and more crowded.